Good morning. Got back a little bit ago from going hunting this morning. Beautiful weather out today in South Georgia. Uh, Thought I would do a video today on something a little bit different, but not so different from the last video I did. The last video I did was dealing with the 730 Waters cartridge, and I talked a little bit about it being canceled. Well, I got to thinking about cartridges. I have been collecting cartridges for a long time, a really long time. And one of the things that I have discovered is there's a lot of history behind a lot of those cartridges. So I thought I would start doing a series of videos, and we'll see how they go. I'll do a couple of them and see if people like them on cartridges. So have a little segment called Cartridge Talk. So today I would like to talk about a fun little cartridge that I like to play with. As you probably figured out from the last video, that I'm kind of like into Thompson Center stuff. I like Thompson Center contenders, encores, and other single shots. Well, the Thompson Center stuff lends itself to being able to use some really interesting rounds. And the round I want to talk about today is a round that was invented by one of the most prolific gun inventors that we had in the early 1900s. It's a guy by the name of P.O. Ackley. And P.O. Ackley came out with this. This is a 17 Ackley Hornet. You say, what's that? Well, you take a 22 Hornet, and which is a long tapered case. It's got not a shoulder like this one does, but it's more like just that. It's, almost straight wall. And shoots a 22 grain bullet at, 2,500 feet a second or so. This particular little monster shoots a 17 caliber bullet. The one that I've got in it right now is a 20 grainer, and it can go in a handgun somewhere around 3,000 feet a second, in a 24-inch barrel rifle somewhere around 36 to 3,700 feet a second. Now, put that in perspective. The commercial 17s that we see out, the biggest one, or the earliest one, was the 17 Remington. The 17 Remington is a 222 mag case neck to 17, and it will drive a 25 grain bullet at an honest 4,100 feet a second. Uses about 29 grains of powder to do so, which is a little bit overboard for that size case with that size bullet. More efficient, there was a Wildcat that Remington decided to make into a factory round. They call it the 17 Fireball. We knew it as a Wildcat before that as the 17 Mach 4 or the 17 221. And for about 18 grains of powder, it'll push that same 20 grain bullet at around 4,000 feet a second. So a little bit slower, just a little bit, but not a whole lot, but a lot more efficient. And it's probably the most efficient of the bunch. So you got the 17 Ackley, this little monster, at around 3,700 feet a second, 3,600 feet a second. You've got the 17 Mach 4 217 Fireball at around 4,000 feet a second, and the 17 Remington at 4,100. So that's screaming. You consider that the average, 222, 223, with the varmint bullets going around 3,000, 3,100, the 22 250s, 3,400. So that little bitty light bullet, that's great for, varminting and shooting flat. And, it's just a fun round, fun caliber to play with. I've never killed anything with the 17 Ackley, but I can tell you this much. When you hit eggs or oranges or apples or anything, a Coke can, it just kind of like disappears. There's not much of it left, because that little bullet is moving fast enough that it imparts all of its energy on whatever it hits, because it's only going to go in about that far. You don't get a lot of penetration out of these things. It's just a splat because the bullet's so teeny. But it's fun. So P.O. Ackley came out with this back in the 1950s, and he has got other ones too. He had one that he did off the 218B. He had a list of other rounds that they came out with. The modern day round that's popular from him that you hear people talk about, and Federal and other people load it, is the 280 Ackley Improved. So he was a very forward-thinking man and trying to say, what do we need to do? Okay, let's take the body taper out, let's put a modern shoulder on it, and give it a good neck. Therefore, the brass won't grow, and it does what it's supposed to. So, fun little round. And to tell you that imitation is the greatest indicator of, or sign of flattery, type of flattery, Hornady came out with a round that is practically identical called the 17 Hornady Hornet. It's got a slightly different shoulder, a slightly shorter neck, but ballistically they're pretty much the same thing. You can actually shoot 17 Hornady Hornets in a 17 Ackley Hornet. It'll fire form the shoulder and the neck a little bit, still be a little short, but you can't fit a 17 Ackley in a 17 Hornady because of the shoulder placement. Well, I hope you've enjoyed this little video on the 17 Ackley Hornet. And if you want me to do some more videos and talk about historical cartridges, because I have a lot of interesting ones. Old stuff from the black powder era, European stuff, elephant gun, buffalo gun, you know, just a lot of different things that I've found over the years. So let me know in the comments. Let me know if you want to do some more. Talk to you later. Have a good one. Bye.